Good morning. It was the best of times and it was the worst of times. With apologies to Charles Dickens, it might also apply to the Liberal Party just now. Historically, they've never been at a worse time, which, if you're an optimist, means they've never had a better chance to improve things. And certainly the ministry Angus Taylor put together yesterday is better than the one they had just 1 week ago. But now what to do with it? It's talking about immigration, talking about housing prices, talking about national values. They all tie in, talking about immigration. I just hope he has now the political courage to do what needs to be done. And that starts with a conversation, doesn't it? And that means trusting the Australian people. You see, Australians love big ideas. There's an argument in politics that sometimes you've got to be a small target. That will get the Liberal Party nowhere. And being a small target got Kim Beazley nowhere. He could well have been the Prime Minister of Australia, but chose to play a small target and just drift into power. That's not going to happen for the Liberals, obviously. But you think back to the big idea Bob Hawke had about HECS in 1989. There was debate about it. It was accepted. It's been good. You think about the debate concerning superannuation, the compulsory super, from Paul Keating, I think it was 1992. Then John Howard's GST. Big ideas, big debate, changes the country in many ways. So what are the big ideas for Angus Taylor? Certainly there's plenty of opportunity because, again, he's up against one of our worst governments who seem to have no real ideas about anything. Immigration is going to be a huge challenge for Angus Taylor. Somebody was writing this morning saying they can't be one nation light. Well, don't worry about one nation. Don't worry about Labor. Focus on what you think is best for this country. Trivia quiz. What's the population of Australia right now? It's 27.2 million. Test your friends today. What's the projected population in 2050? It's 40 million. Were you asked about that? Do you like the idea of 40 million people in the country? Can we afford 40 million? What's the impact on Australia if we have 40 million people? Where are they going to live? Already 90% of people are living in the urban areas. How are you feeling if you're living in Sydney or Brisbane or Melbourne right about now? Where are the rest of the people going to go? Obviously, we need to get people living outside the cities, and we've got to make that possible with infrastructure and everything else. It's such a huge issue. And most people at the moment know nothing about immigration, why we have it, the numbers we have. People criticize One Nation for wanting to peg immigration at 130,000 people. I think that's the last figure I saw. Well, John Howard, during his successful prime ministership, averaged immigration, net migration every year at about 110,000. 2 years ago, we had 500,000. Last year, I think the figure was 300,000. But when were we asked about any of this? When was there a debate about any of this? Where are these people coming from? What are their values? Do they mix with ours? It's a big issue. But in sorting it out, I think Angus Taylor really needs to figure what he wants to do, what his party thinks is best for Australia. Don't worry about the others. I remember when John Bertrand won the America's Cup for Australia, in Australia too, back in 1983. He never worried about Dennis Connor's boat Liberty. He just called it the Red Boat. He knew that if every member of his crew and support staff did their jobs, they would create a synergy that gave them the opportunity to create history. And of course they did. We won the America's Cup. And now Angus Taylor has a chance to bring off the most unlikely of victories as long as his crew, his new ministry, concentrates on their jobs. Don't worry about what the opponents are doing. Criticise them where you want to, but get your own house in order and then go after the Red Boat. Good luck. Have a great day.